This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
This is your Signer's Remorse leader fan radio network.
I don't know, show of hands.
And KFAN.com. 2 minutes and 9 seconds past the hour of 3 o'clock Central Daylight Time. We welcome you back. It is a Tuesday edition of the Bumper to Bumper program on a very crisp, fall-like weekday afternoon here in the Twin Cities that we affectionately refer to as Minneapolis and St. Louis Park. My name is Dan Barreiro. I host the program. Guardsy produces the show. He is indeed back from his one-day hiatus. And we are delighted that you're along for today's full 3 1/2 hour tour. We're going all the way until 6:30 this very evening. Lou Nanny in studio, probably in the 5 o'clock hour, I'm guessing. Ron Coomer, our first visit with Coom Dog in ages. He's going to join by telephone at 4:30. And Adam Theilen is expected at the bottom of this hour if he's gotten all the proper rest since returning from the 1-1 Vikings road trip across the pond. Timing might not be great for Coom Dog Twins. I should say Cubs down 2-0 to Cato Kalin's Milwaukee Brewers. People are feeling pretty good about the Cubs. 3-run home run in the top of the first by Suzuki.
Then what?
Brewers get their own 3-run dong. 3-3 at the end of one, and then Milwaukee, they can't stop scoring runs. The first game, I think they had 19 or 20. Second game, they had 7. They end up winning 7-3. So we'll see what Coom Dog feels regarding the current delicate condition of the Chicago Cubs. Talk baseball. Just get caught up with him for the first time in quite some time.
You know what Coom Dog has always told me, though?
What's that?
It's not a series until someone wins on the road.
I thought that was Flip.
It might have been, but
could have been.
Coom Dog, I think, said it too.
He might have, yeah. Well, they haven't won yet on the road.
No.
And they better get to winning they better win the next 2 at home.
Well, otherwise it's
over. Or there
over.
won't be an opportunity to win one on the road, I don't think. Isn't this best of 5?
Yes.
I think this is best of 5, and they're down 2-0. By the way, I didn't get into this yesterday. Were it's probably a stupid question to ask you, but I'll ask anyway. Were your sensibilities offended as much as apparently several locals were upset, outraged at an NFL Network statement from the host in the studio referring to the Minnesota Vikings as the Minneapolis Vikings?
The Minneapolis Vikings?
Again, was it a slip up? Yes, but is it really? Why does that work us up so much? First of all, it might be the Minnesota Vikings, but they play in Minneapolis. I don't know how to break it to St. Paul types, but that's the truth.
What about outstate?
Well, you're on your own too. I mean, I'm not sure it was worth the level of outrage because I knew it. I heard it live. I said, she's toast. This host is dead beyond any rational comprehension. She's going to get obliterated over what I'm sure was just a slip of the tongue. Not that big a deal. Doesn't mean do your homework. Do better, NFL Network. I don't think it was any of those things. In fact, has she commented on it or kidded about it?
I don't know if she's commented on it, but later,
my God,
this is what actually bothered me more. Because, no, you're on live TV. You're going to make a mistake. Would you like it to happen? No, obviously not. But I think she tried to double down later and said, the Minnesota Vikings, who also happen to play in Minneapolis, I realize I screwed it up, but I couldn't tell if she was trying to be fun about it or, snippy about it.
I don't blame her if it was the latter. I'm sorry. I just because it's professional football, you should have professional broadcast. Bleep you. If you honestly believe that it's unprofessional to call them the Minneapolis Vikings, you don't even understand what professional is, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, come on. Seriously? That's your level of, we're going to evaluate, she's on our list. I thought it was absolute. One of the more we're good at overcooking here in this market. We're outstanding at overcooking. And to me, that one was right at the top of the list. So I'll be honest, I don't know. I didn't hear the follow-up, but I wouldn't have blamed her at all. And again, they do play here. I'm going to break it to people. I mean, you can come from out of town, but we do play. Do we play in downtown Minneapolis?
We do, the People's Stadium.
Just bizarre. Anyway, where were we? Well, do we have the question on the table is whether we have, or Bill Guerin has signer's remorse.
I figured this is where you were going. I hope Fallness is listening.
Well, I got to tell you, this will be, I'm sure, a major topic of conversation with Luigi in the 5 o'clock hour. But by now, I think even casual hockey fans have heard the news about your guy. You call him the best player in hockey, I think, Connor McDavid.
Connor McDavid's pretty good. So, also number 97, I think.
Do you remember all summer that's true? The summer deal was, well, maybe agents are everybody's kind of waiting it out because they don't want to be the first to sign. And that's what's holding up the Kaprizov signing, because you don't want to be the first domino to fall when you find out that if you'd waited, the other domino was going to get even more money than you were going to demand.
You don't want to set the market.
Exactly, in the wrong direction.
You want the market set for you.
Well, whatever market Kaprizov set at $17 million a year, Connor McDavid raised his hand and said, you know what I want to do? I want to help the team.
Team friendly.
I want to do everything. You want to extend me 2 years, $12 million right now? When as far as I've been told, he could have gotten the max right now, right? I don't think if there's another player in the league getting $17 million a year, I don't see how $12 million a year can be the max for Connor McDavid. He maybe is in a different contract situation, but I was told he could make the max. Who was the hockey insider who tweeted 97 could have signed for the max, wants to win. Extends for same $12.5 million AAV of the expiring deal.
Pretty interesting.
Wow. I mean,
Shots fired.
I gotta believe Guerin choked on his crumpets a little bit today. I mean, now maybe he had inside information and he knew. And I look deep down. Does he have signer's remorse? No, he had to sign him. But my God, does that number not hit you right in the solar plexus?
It did yesterday when I saw it. Yes, I said, he signed for what? What happened?
Yeah.
Good for him.
Now, again,
good for the Oilers.
I get it. I get it. He can wait and get, the cap's going to keep going up, and eventually he'll get an even bigger payday. That's not the point. All summer, what the hockey people said is watch McDavid. That's the other guy you have to watch here. And the assumption was he wasn't going to be interested in waiting. So good for him, good for his team, and R97, you're on the clock, man. I mean, you got what you can get. That's what your agent's job is, but that's a startling disparity in yearly salary, right? For a guy who a lot of people think is the best player in the game, correct? Or on the verge of becoming the best player in the game, Connor McDavid. He's absurd.
Insane.
Yeah.
And they've been to the finals back-to-back years. Now, devil's advocate, he's a little younger than Kaprizov.
True.
Because that was the other thing. It was, do you want to sign a guy to a really long contract when it's going to be 35, 36, 37 at the end? I think the Wild had to do it. Edmonton probably didn't. They had
to do it, yes.
But are the Oilers even more on the clock? Because when he's done with this, it's what? He's 31, 32. And then maybe he doesn't want to play there anymore. Or maybe they have to sign him to an even more ridiculous deal. I don't know.
That's possible, but in the interim...
In the short term, it's a great deal.
In the short term, it's a great deal for the team, and presumably it does give them a little more... Look, we accepted that our flexibility was going to be limited, but you had to do it. But I'm curious to know what other players and agents think about this, right? That's what interests me, too, because... There's a part of this that I respect that McDavid is saying, I don't care what I'm supposed to sign for.
Right.
I don't care that I'm supposed to know you can't get in the way of all the players, all of the best players in the movement. that you're supposed to be a part of, and he just said, I'm going to do it my way. Now, again, he's going to eventually get a payoff, but we're not talking about down the road. We're talking about now, and there was nobody in hockey, nobody who was predicting that this was the way McDavid was going to go. So all this stuff now, it's all strategy. Why didn't we hear about this strategy all summer? We didn't. We heard, well, who's going to blink first in terms of, again, setting the market. So it's an interesting little development and nugget that is hard to avoid. It's kind of hard to miss given the obscene nature of the contract awarded Kirill Kaprizov. Even though, as you said, we get it. They're different ages. They're at different periods in their career. But this was not the way we were hearing it was going to go. I'll be very curious to get Luigi's view on all of that as well. Because I know when we've talked to Louis about McDavid, I don't think he expected this either.
Doesn't sound familiar.
No, for sure.
Fan, you want to give away money? Fan and 2 men and a junk truck want to help with that. It is bonus bucks. Our first keyword in the National Cash Contest today is grand. Go to KFAN.com and enter the keyword grand.
We got a lot of good texts coming in from the hockey community. That's one of the more sensitive in all of town, as we've known for quite some time. Stay. Guy writes, get back to me when you find out the amount McDavid is being paid to be the spokesman for Kosafina and his no-show gig as a day laborer with 4 seasons total landscaping. Very, very well played there. I understand this is a sensitive issue for Wild fans. You're turning you're twisting yourselves into pretzels, trying to make yourselves feel better about it. Let's just say, for the sake of discussion, that it's going to cost, if he's going to stay at all, an exponentially greater amount of money to keep him above and beyond the Kaprizov deal in 2 years than is the case right now, if he had signed right now. So what? Do you think the team is that team? How many finals has he been to? Is it 2, 3?
I think it's the last 2.
You think that's scary? Now, there may be a feeling that he's just ready. He's frustrated, and he's ready to move on, and this is his way to challenge the team to, I'm opening the door financially, go out and do what you need to do. Now, I don't know if there's enough time yet to do anything about that unless you do something via trade at this point, but he's a far more accomplished player.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of what his team has done. And by the way, the age difference is only like 4 months between the two, as it turns out. It's not that dramatic.
Yep.
So, we'll get Louis' view on it. Somebody said Russo had predicted that it might go this route. It's a startling contrast. And if you're defensive about that, I can't help you. I'm sorry. But you'd be kind of foolish to suggest that no matter what this is going to mean down the road for how much his home team is going to have to spend, or if even it's likely that they're going to be able to keep him at all, in the short term, it gives that team greater flexibility, obviously, than the Minnesota. What's the difference a year? What do we say? It's $5 million different a year, right? 12 to 5, $4.5 to $5 million a year. So I don't know how you can look at it any other way. He might have. I'm not even suggesting that he might not have his strategic reasons for doing it. That in the end will serve him better. I'm just saying that's a far more advantageous position than I will take that risk for a player who's already gotten me to the Cup Finals, going shorter, knowing I might get blown away on the back end if I can keep him at all, than we got Kaprizov for 25 more years, because we've got really nothing from an equity standpoint to show for it right now. And we've already heard this a couple times. Just wait. 2 years, the Kaprizov deal will be considered a bargain. So what? Great. We're happy for you. I've on record. I think you're on record as saying they had to sign him. I'm not admonishing them for signing him in any way, shape, or form, but hockey people, insiders around the National Hockey League believe this is a fascinating contrast and a big story, period, no matter what predictions were made about how far you would go. Again, I would still say, as I understand it, he could have signed for the max on a 2-year extension as well, right?
Yeah.
He could have done that. Why wouldn't he do that? You can say, well, because he wants to open the door to his team adding pieces. That's the point. So even if you stuck at 2 years, he still could have gone at a much higher number, correct?
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah. And it's basically, I'm just looking up his contract. The other reason why he might be willing to do this is he's coming off an 8-year, $100 million contract, so he's gotten paid big time already, right?
I get that, but that doesn't stop most players.
That's true.
From taking the next step and saying, well, I can get another $100 million. Whatever the highest amount is, I'll still take it. How many times have we been there? Well, how much money do you need? That's not how most of these players generally work.
It's or the agents allow them to work. It's the anti-Kirk.
Correct.
Basically.
Dan, preposterous hockey take as usual. Kaprizov deal's a slam dunk. Only you will find the negative. I'll say it for the third time. I don't know what else to tell you, man. I understand, like I said, it's the most sensitive sports community in this town, the hockey community. Well, actually, I think it's second. It may be running neck and neck with Lynx fans, as far as I'm concerned right now. But we've endorsed it. We're also allowed to comment on this interesting contrast. It's okay. We're not saying renounce the contract of Kaprizov. But I will say what I've said even when they signed him. This is half the job. This is half the battle. It will mean nothing if you don't do the other half, which is maximize on what he is supposed to mean individually. And I would say McDavid's team has come closer to that than Kaprizov's to this point, unless I miss something. Unless I miss 1 or 2 cup final appearances with Kaprizov, I don't know that is indeed the case. What else did I have for you? Oh, well, I'll get to a couple more texts here. What do you think the Wild should have done with Kaprizov? Sign him. Sign him. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what you want to hear exactly. All we're pointing out is the contrast, and I got to believe, even if Guerin knew it was coming, that it had to make him wince a little bit. That's all. That's all. Because there's not much flexibility. According to Russo, there's not much flexibility left for us contractually right now. Correct? Right. And now, we could make a deal that could change that, but right now we don't.
I would say this. It would be nice to have had a player in a situation like Connor McDavid like they've had for the last decade. And it took a while to get going.
That's true.
But it's been tremendous the last 2 years. I mean, we've seen the videos coming out of Edmonton. What a place to do it.
Correct.
But then to be able to have the situation where you're coming off back-to-back cup final runs and you just got to keep this guy in, you don't have to go crazy with the money to do it. It's just a better overall situation. I think that's what this is kind of a reminder of. Now, the clock is ticking.
That's
if you don't win a cup and maybe he comes in 2 years and says, as great as it is here in Canada,
maybe he'll want to join Kaprizov with the Wild.
State of hockey.
Yeah.
We'll probably have our new arena by then, or at least our new upgrades, and everything will all be great. That's the one thing is it's just such a solid situation there. That's what I think I would be most envious of.
Well, meanwhile, are we starting another season injury racked in a way that's going to not allow us to get?
We've got a few
out of the gate, right?
Yeah, we've got a few.
Zuki is on IR, months. Correct?
Yep.
And now your guy Nico Sturm. How about him?
Yeah, he's hurt too.
He's got a back issue. He's on injured reserve now. I always felt almost from the beginning, we'll see what Luigi thinks, that maybe we're counting too much on him anyway. But I'm already starting to get worried about where we are injured. And how's Kaprizov's eye? Didn't he have an eye issue too? Is that okay? That does
sound right, yeah. And now we signed Gus Bus while I was gone, or over the weekend.
Yeah, we did.
So does that mean we don't like our kid anymore? What happened to Wally?
Well,
I thought we loved him.
Well, I think we do, but I think we've decided that we can't. We haven't seen enough good from him to count on him yet, and we got to hedge our bet.
I guess so. Yeah.
So, where's the best? This one I didn't expect to see. This is from Mo out of Wrigleyville, Chicago. Dan, Billy G is a fraud and a snake oil salesman who finds Band-Aid fixes so he can use as an excuse down the road as to why his team's not winning playoff games. That's Mo from Chicago, formerly of now forgotten Uptown Minneapolis. Man, that's
where the Vikings play.
Well, where the Vikings play. Would St. Paul be bitter if before the Wild's first game, the national announcer says, and the St. Paul Wild start? No, they would embrace it, yes.
Well, they need it.
That's where we play. Yeah, that's where the team plays.
St. Paul would want it bad. Yeah.
One broadcaster once says Minneapolis Vikings and we've lost our mind. I actually thought it was kind of cute. I kind of liked it. I said, that's that. Maybe we start calling them the Minneapolis Vikings just to
you're
get
on your
people
own there.
going.
Yeah, I can't.
You're
do
detaching
that.
yourself from that.
It's your show.
It's technically true.
Kind of. Yeah. So would we call them the Arden Hills Vikings if that's where they went? Are you going to call the Bears the Arlington Heights Bears?
I'm willing to. I have no problem
if
with that.
If you start calling them the Arlington Heights Bears in 5 years.
Well, it's not the Illinois Bears anyway. It is it's not unprecedented for the city to be represented in the name of a team.
It's a lot of them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
so
a lot of them.
I just don't think it should be that big of a deal. All right, we got a break for Adam Theilen back from across the pond. We'll see what he has to say about the one-on-one trip to Europe and who knows what else. He's next. Don't forget, in about an hour, baseball conversation with our good friend and old friend, Ron Coomer. Cubs kind of on the ropes, but we'll catch up with him. He, of course, is on the outstanding Chicago Cubs radio network. He is at 4:30, and we expect Louie in studio in the 5 o'clock hour. The Vikings have returned from their 2-week, close to 2 week, certainly 2-game trip across the pond. They come back 1-1 after coming from behind late to knock off the Cleveland Browns. Adam Thielen kind enough to join us now via the Connecticut Water Systems hotline. How do you do in general on jet lag? You're a grizzled veteran, I'm assuming, of travel, but is it do you have it down pretty much to a science now? Or is it still kind of challenging?
No, I think I got it down to a science. I think it's like one of those things where you just set your mind on it, right? Like
Yep.
You just know that it's going to be a little foggy. It's a great excuse for me to drink more coffee, which I'm not complaining about. And yeah, you just kind of figure it out. You kind of mind over matter a little bit. And that's something that's always been, I guess, maybe a strength of mine, is just being able to kind of, adapt to whatever's going on and figure it out.
So coffee, are you just old-fashioned hardcore coffee guy? Or are you foo-foo drink latte guy? What's your coffee of choice?
No, sir, just black coffee. You give me a good cup of hot black coffee, and my day is good.
That's all it takes. So is that first thing in the morning?
I'm kind of more. I'm very scheduled in mine because I know that if I started right away in the morning, that I'd have way too much caffeine and way too much coffee. So I'm very routine. I make sure basically my first cup of the day is usually the first meeting, so I can handle the long, monotonous meetings that we have on Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Right.
And it's kind of my way to keep my ADD in check while I'm in meetings. But, yeah, usually a couple cups in the morning during meetings, and then, one afternoon cup to get me going either before practice or before I get home with the crazy kids.
No cream, no sugar, nothing. Just the black coffee. Is that right?
No, sir.
Yeah.
Never.
Okay. How far does that go back?
Well, do you want to know the origin story of my coffee drinking?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I can credit it to Norv Turner, because I had to sit in his game plan meetings where he went through every single play that we had up that week, which was like at times 160 slides, where he went through every little detail of every play. And at that point, I was like, all right, I need something to get me through this and to keep me focused and locked in, and turn to coffee.
That's too good. Did you ever reveal this to him? Did he have any inkling of that you were his inspiration?
No, but that's a good point. I should give him a call and just thank him for opening my eyes and to the coffee world, which has been great. I
should say he was your inspiration, to say it better. All right, you do come back with a victory. You get the late drive that you needed. I got to feel that that's one of those games where you say you sort of have to find a way to win it. How did you view it?
Yeah, I think that was kind of my thing, in the locker room, before the game, on the sidelines during the game, is like, guys, we got to find a way. Like I don't care what it looks like. I don't care how it happens, but like, keep fighting, because we gotta win this game. Like, this game means so much more than anyone probably knows. Or we'll be able to look back at it at the end of the season and how important that one game was. And they all are, right? This league is there's no game that means more than the other, but going into a bye week, just from the momentum standpoint, just from the mental side of things, it was so important to win that game. And so obviously thankful for that. It made the trip, extremely long trip, 9-hour flight back, a lot better. So I think I stood up for the first 6 hours of that flight before I fell asleep. So I wouldn't fall asleep before that, but, it made it more enjoyable. That's for sure.
The last drive, I believe Carson Wentz was 9 for 9. I thought he looked really good on that drive. I thought it was well called by your head coach / obviously play caller as well. What did you think? What did you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think just how that game went, of kind of how our offense was moving the ball and things like that. A lot of credit to coach for his play calling, and obviously the whole coaching staff of kind of getting that information to him to kind of figure out a way to move the ball without taking hits and keeping Carson upright. And getting the ball in the playmaker's hands. And I think it was obviously a great job by the staff, but also as Carson, and just getting the ball out, finding guys, going to the guys that you can count on in big situations. And then the guys, I think TJ had a great catch and just got vertical and really, get the first down. That's huge. Those plays are huge that no one's going to talk about. I don't know how many yards TJ had in the game, but those plays are huge that no one's going to talk about. But to be able to catch the ball, get vertical, get a first down, just to keep the drive and momentum going, and not have to get to a third down or second and whatever. Those are huge plays, and really helped us to be able to get down the field and get in field goal range first. And then you get to that field goal range, and then it's like, all right, let's go win this thing.
Get greedy. Yeah.
Let's not put this to overtime's hands and go win it. So that was great.
I actually don't think Cleveland would have ever scored again anyway, but you're right. You have a chance to win it, you go ahead and do it. Justin Jefferson very well, but you were away from him for a little while, elsewhere. I'm wondering what you came back to, what you saw that's different, if anything, about JJ as he is obviously grown in stature and experience in the league.
I think just an even better teammate, and obviously everyone knows the type of player he is, but just the maturity that he was mature when he came into the league, just for, being so young, and not a lot of experience. And he really was ahead of his time as far as maturity wise, but he's grown so much, as a person. He's grown so much as a leader. I wouldn't say that when I was here last that he was like the strongest leader in the world. But he didn't have to be. And I think he's really taken ownership to be that strong leader, to be a role model for the younger guys, and to help them grow on the field, but also off the field. I heard some great comments from him after the game, talking about his role there with certain guys and trying to be that for them through his experiences. But yeah, I think the biggest thing that sticks out to me is just his being a teammate, right? Like he's not a guy that is gonna just whine and be a diva just because, he's going to be out there to help this team win games and do it as a leader. He
brought up, in fact, after the game, and speaking of the leadership part of this, that he wants to take Jordan Addison under his wing a little more. The head coach was very public about saying that the reason Jordan didn't play in the first quarter was because he'd missed a walkthrough. And it sounds like JJ is saying, I got to try to have a greater influence on him. You've been around a long time, too. So is that something you try to get involved in? Do you do it if the player wants it? Your second time around with this team, I'm curious to get your view, because obviously the kid can play. I mean, he made a great catch late. He can be an important part of what this team does, but he's had some issues. So is that something you might get involved in as well, or do you back away from that? What do you think?
Well, I believe in building relationships. That's something that I've really, 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 really enjoy, and I think it's part of why I'm still playing this game. It's to build those relationships, to have a friendship, and then be there where I need to be. And I think when you build a friendship and you build a relationship first, and guys can trust you, then that's when you can pour into them and you can help them on the field, off the field, what have you. So that's kind of where I'm focused on, is making sure that he really trusts me and that I can be there for him when he needs me. I think that's a huge part of playing in this league a long time. God has blessed me and given me this opportunity, and I think it's more than just making plays. As much as I love doing that and getting the ball in my hands, but I know there's bigger things than that. So I say that all long-winded answer to say that yes, I'm very committed to building these relationships with not just him but the entire team, and trying to be a resource where I can. Well,
it may have been a long-winded answer, but I thought it was an important answer, because I can't help but wonder, and a lot of people have wondered about this. Your snaps have gone down. I think in the Browns game, you had 14 snaps against them, 10 in the first quarter when Addison was sidelined, and you were on the field, I think, over 70% on snaps the first 3 weeks. You're a guy who still, I know, feels he can contribute, can still catch the ball. I also know you do pride yourself on doing other things, and I'm wondering if part of that philosophy is what helps you through as a player who I'm assuming wants to play more. How are you dealing with the way the role has seemingly gone down since Addison came back? Adam? Did we lose him? Oh, it's gone. All right, let's put back on hold, see if we can get him back. Nope. I think I heard him. Adam, did you hear? We lost you for a minute there. Did you hear the question? Speaking of long-winded,
I heard the first part of it, but my phone must have cut out. But
gotcha.
But yeah, I think I got you. But yeah, I think for me, I said it in the press conference when I first got here. It's like, I'm not going to forget this feeling that I had when I first got back in that building, and how important that place is to me, how important the organization, what it means to me. And I'm not going to forget that through the ups and downs of a season, whether we're winning or losing, whether personally I'm having great games or not so great games, or playing a bunch or not playing a bunch. It's like, I'm going to have that same attitude every single day I walk in that building. And at the end of the day, I have a lot of confidence myself. So when my number's called and I need to play more, or I need to get more opportunity, like, I'm ready, and I feel great. And again, I'm very blessed to be able to play this game still in year 13, and whatever that looks like, I'm going to take to full advantage and be positive and be the best leader I can be. So again, I'm very excited to be back in Minnesota and be back in this organization, and I'm going to keep that mindset through this year.
Well, as you well know, too, it's remarkable how much things can change week to week, right? I mean, somebody else could get hurt in 2 weeks. There could be just a different set of circumstances where it opens the door. You mentioned it. I mean, this league changes week to week, and obviously condition in terms of who's out on there, what the circumstances are, whose number gets called. We've certainly seen that change dramatically over the course of a season many times.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's important to be the same guy every single day, regardless of circumstance. And that's not easy. Don't get me wrong. It's not like that's something that's easy to do, or that just happens, right? Like, you really have to make sure that every single day that you wake up and you walk in that building, that, like, that's your mindset, that you're coming in there to give your best, to do whatever you're supposed to, you're told to do, asked to do. And again, I have so much faith and belief and love for this organization and this staff and this team. And that's why I'm here, and if it was all about, the other things, maybe I wouldn't be here, but, again, just very blessed to be here and excited about what that looks like. And I want to help this team win. And obviously, this city or this state and this fan base deserves to win. And that's what we're trying to do.
All right. So now you get the bye, and you get a little time to breathe and perhaps the opportunity to get a little bit healthier. Because as I said, even though you've been around a long time, I can't remember many times where the offensive line, for example, has had to be shuffled to the degree it has this early in the season. I mean, it was pretty wild. Basically, you had different people than the expected starters pretty much playing every position along the line. And again, it. I mean, nobody feels sorry for teams with injuries, but this has been a pretty unusual circumstance so far, has it not?
Absolutely, and I think that's another reason why that win was so important on Sunday. It's like when you can win some games with a lot of injuries and a lot of missing pieces, I guess you could say, and you can kind of get through a really tough stretch and you can get some wins. Those things are going to pay off big time in the long run. Just the experience that some guys are getting, the different positions that they're playing that you never know when they're going to have to bounce back in there or how many games they're going to have to play in there. Like those are things that are only going to help us. They're not going to hurt us in the long run. So when you can sneak out victories and do it through those circumstances, I think those are going to pay big dividends in the long run.
The division I thought before the season began, looked really interesting, and it still does to me. But yet I think it's sort of hard to get a handle on pretty much every team, right? Because your team started with the idea of J.J. McCarthy was going to be the guy from the start of the season. Maybe he will be prepared or ready to come back for the Eagles game. The Bears have been up and down. The Lions still look pretty good to me. And the Packers, I mean, they lost to the Cleveland team that you guys knocked off. What I will say is it looks like there's I still feel like potentially there's great depth in this division. How do you size up the division at this point, but almost a quarter through the season?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you're only a quarter way through the season, so there's still a little bit of unknown. That's what made this game so great, right? Teams that were maybe unbelievable last year maybe aren't so great this year, or vice versa. So you really just don't know what teams are until week 6, 7, 8. But at the same time, yeah, this division is deep, and a lot of great teams, a lot of really great players, star players on each of those teams that can really help you win games. So it's going to be interesting as we get into these battles. I think I was talking to my wife about it yesterday or today. It's like these teams in this division are going to start beating up on each other, and it's going to be tough. But that only is going to make us better when you play good competition like that twice a year with 3 different teams. It's definitely only going to make you better and make you ready for if you can get into those playoffs, and it's only going to make you ready for the playoff type caliber teams that you're going to be facing at that point.
Last item, tell me how many days off you have and what your plans are. How do you, or do you even try, is it even possible to sort of get away in any sort of meaningful sense?
Well, I'm in the parking lot of an apple orchard right now, so that's step one is to spend as much family time as possible. But yeah, just spend time with the family, get away from the building, get away from football, be able to watch a little football on Saturday and Sunday, including one of my son's flag football games. Oh, nice. So that'll be pretty intense. But yeah, no, just spend as much time as a family, really just get back mentally, physically. 10 days away in 2 different countries is a long time to be away. So just really try to make up some ground with the family and really just get re-energized and ready for a really tough stretch and a long second half of the season. For sure.
Be prepared. We probably are. You've been down this road before. I got to believe there's going to be people coming up, recognizing you, coming up to you and offering their vote on whether Carson should remain as quarterback for the Eagles game or whether the team should go back to J.J. McCarthy. You know how the quarterback stuff stirs the pot, man.
Oh, definitely. And thank the Lord that I'm not in those positions to make those decisions. So I get to just run the play that's called and catch the football from whoever's throwing it. But yeah, no, it's the NFL is a crazy game and a crazy business, and there's a lot of attention, and there's a lot of what do they call them, armchair quarterbacks or whatever they call it. You know, there's a lot of those out there.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for giving us time, extended time on your day off, man. Much appreciated, and we'll get back on regular schedule soon. Thanks again.
All right, thanks, guys.
I appreciate it. Adam Theilen from an apple orchard, he said, hanging out with the family, yet still giving us a little time on his day off. Isn't that nice of Adam Theilen?
Well, he's one of us. It's not surprising.
Well, I mean, if let's be honest. I mean, look up in the record books where Adam Thielen ranks in receptions and yards among Minnesoplis Vikings.
I was going to say
receivers.
Minneapolis Vikings. Isn't he top 5 in both?
I think he's. I want to say he's third or fourth in both, or at least one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't even think a lot of people realize.
No, it sneaks up on him.
And he said it. It's his playing time's going down. So right now, at least, and it's got to be hard. But I think he's smart enough to know at this point you got to sort of wade through it. He wants to hold on to. Most importantly, he got back here, right? And I think that's what he's trying to hold on to. And we'll see. Like I said, the season takes some very strange twists and turns, and often injuries end up opening doors once again. I still think Thielen might have a place where we look back on the season and there's several big throws that we can say he was indeed responsible for. We will indeed see. Matt in St. Paul, very unhappy, and not from the hockey community.
Really?
There isn't a quarterback controversy. That's just you. Well,
what side are you?
That's not true, but that's okay. If the word controversy is fraught, don't use the word controversy. Call it a conundrum.
Situation.
Call it a situation. A decision will have to be made, correct? That's what I was reminded of yesterday, man. The Macobos, they're not taking any of this well if there's any momentum to the idea of Wentz playing against Philly. And by the way, as we said again yesterday, injuries might well intercede there again, because the word is the left shoulder that had you brimming over with for
the Brownstones. Brosmer
is apparently not getting all that much better, and there's going to be further examination of it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they find something that makes the decision clearer, that even if the head coach wanted to give Wentz another week, that it may have to be J.J. McCarthy or your guy Max Brosmer, who, as I said yesterday, I never seen a kneel down that looked as professional,
authoritative,
and as polished as Brosmer at the end of the first half in London.
I did like how they were like huddling up, and he was looking over to the sidelines like, come on, just get the ball, kneel down. Like, even for me, it's like, stop milking it, guys. We know what you're going to do here. I was devastated. Does it make me a bad person? I was devastated.
No, because you'd predicted it.
I know.
So
well, there was that
look like a genius.
But I was just excited to maybe see it happen.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't going well. We all watched it. It wasn't great.
No.
And Wentz was awesome.
Well, again,
in the second
here's
half.
the other thing, and we didn't even. This wasn't one of the talking points. You did a nice job, as always, on the talking points, which we ran yesterday. But again, Wentz was up and down, right? Well, I'll grant the point, but he wasn't responsible for either turnover either.
Right.
You do have to factor that in a little bit. There were the two running backs had fumbles, right? Committed fumbles.
Maybe he could have handed it off cleaner.
Well, maybe Brosmer would have. I don't know. It's
Get
possible.
It in the pocket.
But in the end, he had the drive of the game. I mean, I just know this: if McCarthy goes 9 for 9 and doesn't settle for 3 and gets a touchdown for the dagger in regulation, the Macobos are demanding a lifetime Kaprizov-like contract.
Yeah.
For their guy, JJ.
What you have to remember, though, is they spent a lot of money on their McCarthy mansions. And so they're looking out the big bay window, and then they see...
Their time will come.
But they see Cousin Eddie in the Wentz Winnebago out there, with the hose, basically saying it's full, and they don't like that. They spent a lot of money on their McCarthy mansion. They don't love the Winnebago just pulling up to the neighborhood and ruining Christmas.
Yeah.
That's not what they're here for.
I am on record as saying I would start Carson Wentz against Philadelphia. I would. It's not the last word. You don't have to agree with it. If he's healthy, I would start Carson Wentz against Philly, and not because of the angle, because of it's his ex-team. I don't care who. I would extend it. I would play him. I'm that, and I admit, maybe I'm too traumatized by what I saw in Game 2 in McCarthy's second game. We got some interesting analytics on that we can get into as well that are being kind of used against Carson Wentz, but if you compare those same analytics to what J.J. McCarthy has done through 2 games, that's not even close. But we'll save all of that. Top of the hour break. As I mentioned, Ron Coomer in about a half hour. Luigi is going to join in the 5 o'clock hour as well. It's countdown to puck drop on ESPN right now.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Is it opening night tonight?
Opening night, NHL on ESPN, 24 minutes, in fact. And I think it's Florida against the Chicago Blackhawks, if I'm not mistaken.
The Illinois Blackhawks?
The Illinois Blackhawks, that's exactly it. So I'm sure we'll get Louis on all of that. I got a number of other good texts to read and a couple of other subjects, controversial ones to discuss, including a WNBA negotiations update. Stay